Greetings everyone, I am Dr. Wolf and I just watched part 1 of The End of the End. There is so much going on here. Ooh, goodness. I mean, parts of this make me wish that they could have put all of this into a full-length film because there's so much going on. And they have to go from one story beat to another story beat to another story beat. And I kind of wish they spent more time with each of these characters. I really do. And yeah, there's quite a lot that I expect is going to happen in part 2, but I'll leave my theories till later. But honestly, it is quite the ride to be going on for these final few episodes. And I'm sure there are at least a few elements here that people really want me to talk about, and I'm sure I'll get to that. But overall, I am still very much looking forward to part 2, and yeah, I think most of everything in this part 1 was handled really well. Most of it, yes. But let's start from the beginning here. First off, we have chrysalis still trying to use whisperings and rumors to sow discord amongst the populace. And yeah, it's an effective tactic, and I kind of wish that other villains would have tried something like this long ago instead of going for the full-fledged frontal assault approach, because this shows a lot more clever creativity to a plan. Try to divide the populace before going after the rulers. Divide and conquer makes a lot of sense here, and it is interesting that Grogar's bell had held the magic, the essence of Grogar all this time. When T-Rex was first explaining how the bell worked and the spell that was going to be used, I was wondering, well, would they have to drain something first? Well, turns out there's a lot of magic already in there. And turning T-Rex into his third form, I suppose you could call that, chrysalis gets a little more regal looking and a little darker green eyes. And Cozy Glow becomes an alicorn, because of course she does. Although I wonder where her necklace came from, and Chrysalis's regal get-up too, come to think of it. All part of the spell work, perhaps. And then we get to see what I imagine is really going to be a little back and forth between fans. Discord is Grogar. Discord created Grogar. He was in the form of Grogar. And I have to admit, throughout the entirety of Season 9, I wouldn't have seen that coming. But, you know, part of me kind of wishes that I did, because, yeah, I did mention that Grogar's magic was yellow, and Discord has shown his magic to be yellow on occasion here and there, and maybe the eyebrows might have given it away a little bit. But what do I think of Discord being Grogar all this time? It is a little callous, I have to admit, because he put I don't know how many different ponies in danger by allowing Sombra to roam free and take over the Crystal Empire again. I mean, how would Discord have known what Sombra might have done? He is someone who rules through fear and enslaves ponies to do his bidding. So yeah, this is not only short-sighted, it's also callous towards anyone who might have gotten hurt in the process. And seeing how everything ended up, yeah, he really should have seen something like this being a possibility. On the other hand, I think back to both the Season 4 premiere and the Season 4 finale, because he had his seeds capture the Royal Sisters and taking over Ponyville and causing all kinds of destruction in its wake. And yeah, he was kind of testing Twilight and kind of teaching her a lesson in his own Discord way. And then at Season 4 finale, against T-Rex, T-Rex did manage to convince Discord to join him, take all the ponies in Equestria and give their magic to T-Rex. And yeah, Discord was certainly having a lot of fun, even though he had a couple of moments of regret. He was giving into his true nature. And yet at the same time, he didn't really see that T-Rex might have betrayed him once he had gotten all that power. Didn't really occur to him. He actually thought T-Rex was a friend. So it's kind of in his nature to be unpredictable and to try and teach lessons to Twilight in his own way. And he doesn't always see what might happen because of his actions. I can see why the writers would have taken this angle for Discord, because his whole focus throughout the season 9 was to get the villains to work together, to get them to learn friendship, and they almost did until Chrysalis decided, no, friendship is a disease. So, yeah, it makes sense. And seeing where it all ended up at the end of season 9, I have to admit it is a little frustrating to see Discord, with all the lessons that he's gone through over the years, decide to act on his own still without telling anyone. It's certainly in his nature. I just kind of wish he would have learned that kind of lesson by now. But for the sake of making this plot work, I can understand why the writers decided to take that avenue. And it is a very interesting avenue, because having T-Rex and Chrysalis and Cozy Glow have enough power to take over, whilst at the same time making sure that the ponies of Equestria really don't want to work together, that Earth ponies are not interested in working with unicorns, and unicorns are even calling Applejack Earth Pony instead of using her real name. That's a little disheartening to see. And I imagine it's still going to lead to bigger obstacles in part 2. I'm sure they set that up for a reason. And it's interesting that none of the main 6 seem to realize this is happening until it's too late. Again, to make the plot work, I can understand why they decided to go down this avenue. However, leading up to Discord confessing and causing everything to just go haywire, there were some genuinely sweet moments. Spike being made first advisor, and how Twilight was telling him, I never could have gotten this far without you. That's really touching. And then even Luna saying, our little Twilight is all grown up. That's wonderful to hear from the Royal Sisters. And I did appreciate that when Discord is being berated by pretty much everyone, that even Celestia herself has a moment of anger. You have made a grave misjudgment, Discord. Yes, that was well warranted. And how often do we actually get to hear Celestia use her disapproving parental voice? That's probably a good way to put it. Now, Twilight does panic a bit at first, but I'm grateful that she does have a bit of a plan. She summons the pillars to guard the borders. She tells Starlight and Trixie that, yeah, Chrysalis is likely going to be coming after them, and even informs Cadance and Shining Armor, yes, there's a big danger coming. We're going to need your help. Although we didn't see anyone from the Crystal Empire for the rest of the episode. I imagine they're going to be showing up sometime in part 2. But seeing the pillars just be defeated so quickly, just like that, I kinda wish that there had been more time to spend on the pillars being these ancient heroes of legend and coming up with more of a plan than just trying to blast T-Rex with magic. That was a little discouraging, that it was just over and done with like that. I also kinda wish that there would have been more with Starlight, because what Starlight does, that's really clever. First off, I'm grateful that she thinks of the students first. She gets them to safety first. Bravo! Very well done. And then, even better, she teleports Chrysalis to the ends of the earth in order to have their battle. It would have probably been a little smarter if she had been able to teleport back, but with Chrysalis as powerful as she is now, maybe she would have been able to teleport back too. It's best that they had their battle far from civilization. And yeah, if Starlight's avalanche had actually worked, it would have been a fantastic plan. So yeah, bravo to Starlight there. But naturally, you can't have Starlight take on Chrysalis and win, because that'd be a little too anticlimactic. So Starlight has to lose, she has to be cocooned, and Chrysalis has to head back to Canterlot, and I hope she didn't have to fly all the way back. But coming up to the ending, where Cozy Glow is kind of taking on everyone in Canterlot by herself and still managing to get the upper hand. I mean, against the Royal Sisters, she was smart enough to have the bell with her and turn their magic back onto them. That's pretty smart. And it's also smart that instead of just monologuing endlessly, when she comes into the room, the first thing she does is blast Twilight straight in the face. Again, clever. Straight to the point. So, it's nice that the villains are thinking ahead. It's nice to see that a lot of characters are thinking ahead. Discord is really the only one who really isn't thinking ahead at all. But I did appreciate how the rest of the main six got to have their teeny little shining moments where Pinkie Pie is shooting confetti in Cozy's face, or Fluttershy with the geese saying, "Fly, my pretties." That definitely made me laugh. And there were a couple of other comedic moments, I have to admit. I mean, Discord voicing the other villains because he's the one telling the story and can't snap his fingers to show what happened. Yeah, that was kind of funny. I also like the fact that Twilight is not the one having the freak out, even though Spike thinks that she probably should, given it's her big coronation day. And instead, it's Twilight who's poking fun with Rarity and making her have the bit of a freak out by saying, "Oh, what about my marshmallow tasting dress?" Oh, goodness. So yeah, overall, I did have a lot of fun with this episode. I admit there are a number of things I kind of wish that the writers did differently here. I can understand why some people would be upset that Discord is kind of acting really callous towards every pony and not really caring if anyone gets hurt in the process, because since he's the one who brought Sombra back, he knew that Sombra would be trouble for the Crystal Empire and didn't even warn anyone. However, I will still agree this is part of Discord's nature. I'd say it's more Discord's nature from season 4-ish, and I would have thought that he would have learned at least a few lessons since then to not do something like this without telling anyone. His ego is really off the charts here. But when every pony is telling Twilight that she needs to escape, she needs to come up with a plan, she needs to be the one to save Equestria, I was thinking, Twilight, can't you teleport everybody away? Somewhere secret where the villains can't really find you guys? I mean, is this sacrifice from all the other characters really necessary? But then Discord said, "Fly, you fool." Okay. Yeah, hearing that from Discord, that did get a chuckle out of me, and it did fit the scene rather nicely. Oh, but goodness. With the Equestrian citizens being distrustful of each other, and the Royal Sisters, Discord, and the main six all trying to sacrifice themselves and holding off the villains while Twilight escapes, I have to believe that, well, what about all the other races in Equestria? Because Twilight started up that school of friendship for a reason. There's gotta be a reason why we focused on the Student 6 throughout season 8 and 9 here. So I have to believe that's gotta be part of what's going to solve everything in part 2, but I'll have to wait and see on that. Overall though, a little bit of the episode was a bit frustrating because they kinda had to take away from what we enjoyed from Discord's character in order to make the plot work. But for the plot that we were given, even though I wish some scenes had been given more time between the pillars and Starlight Glimmer in particular, I can understand for the time they were given, this is probably the best we were going to get, given that they needed someone to really set up the villains this way in order to make this plot work. And if it had to be Discord, I suppose I can accept that. I may not be 100% happy about it, but I can accept it. At any rate, though, I am very, very much looking forward to part 2. And yeah, things are winding down, and I'm not entirely sure what these final 2 episodes are going to be about, but I'm sure it's going to be fun. And I'm sure it's going to be heartwarming. And I'm sure it's going to be oh so memorable. Until next time, I am Dr. Wolf, and I look forward to hearing from you.